Hello everybody and welcome back to Free Thought Josh. This is the update on Vasily's court case in Maywood, Chicago, Illinois. Basically he went in there, had another little nice discussion with the judge and was able to actually cross-examine a police officer.
Yeah, so that was my second appearance in front of this judge, and it was a appearance in a preliminary court, and meaning that the judge was trying to figure out whether there's sufficient evidence to proceed to trial, to the next stage, which is the trial.
Which is the actual trial. This is just another pre-trial little deal that they had. Vasily took the time today to go to the Illinois bar out in Chicago and get some interesting information. We got the ARDC, Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, for the complaints we'll be filing, and we have the State of Illinois Judicial Inquiry Board pamphlet book thing. Let me see how many pages there are. 90 pages. I'm going to have to read through that and go through and find out exactly what I'm going to be doing here. Oh, and we took the time to highlight some of the complaints against the judge, Judge Cole, K-U-L-L, in Maywood, District 4, Illinois, Chicago. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we have a couple here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the potential 20 complaints that you can do in court against the judge, and they are administrative misconduct, bias, prejudice, and partiality, demeanor, and whatever. Basically, it was impatient and rude, and yeah. Ex parte
Insulting.
Insulting, yes. Ex parte communication, which means it was one-sided.
Impartial.
Yeah, he's supposed to be impartial. Failure to rescue, disqualify, and the conflict of interest is another one. Judicial decision discretion. Yeah, he's use or non-use of evidence is what that one's about. Inappropriate political activity, publicly endorsing, opposing a candidate for public office, personal, blah blah blah. Prejudgment of a case, and abuse of power. So those are 9 of 20 possible things that they can get complaints filed against them for, and we have almost half of the possible complaints from 2 days in court.
Well, let's talk about what happened in court today.
Okay.
So I went in expecting to face my accuser, my supposed accuser, who was the witness in the case, also who also is the police officer who arrested me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is pretty much what happened. I went in there, and the first thing that I said was that I'm not an attorney. Again, I was trying to establish the fact that I'm just a layman, and the last time the judge decided to treat me as an attorney and said that he's gonna see me as an attorney in this case.
We need to clarify what that means. An attorney is somebody who is licensed to practice law in a state, or is a member of the labor union called the Bar Association, based out of Britain. So when he said he was going to treat him as an attorney, there is a layman and a lawman. Being licensed to practice law makes you a lawman. I mean, he was a lawman, and he said he would treat him as a lawman, even though he is a layman. He has no documentation, no evidence that he actually knows anything about the law. He's asking simple questions. But because the questions were so direct and in their face, they do not recognize the fact that, you know, he can't. They think he knows way more than he's leading on. So he said he's going to treat him as an attorney, and you can't treat a layman as a lawman because they don't know what they're doing, right? Vasily does. He has no idea what he's doing. All he wants is simple answers to simple questions. He has no idea anything about law, because you don't need to know the codes, acts, and statutes or any element of the Constitution to understand that there is no evidence that it applies to you without your consent. So, continue from there.
Okay, so once I got it out of my mouth that I did not want to be seen in any way, shape, or form as an attorney or addressed as one, I proceeded again to establish that I wanted to be addressed as Vasily, to be continued addressed as Vasily, and not my legal title. And the judge made a joke this time that he called me an artist formerly known as Vasily.
That's actually a pretty good one. I've heard some mean ones before. That's actually a good one.
He gets a little bump for that one.
Well, regardless, there are 9 complaints we're going to have to actually issue against him. But what happened when you were talking to the cop, when you were questioning the cop, and then what happened when you even tried to use their own system to explain how they did wrong?
I was trying to figure out what is a crime. I was trying to get the definition of crime out of the judge and ask him whether I was charged with a crime, and he said yes. And then I asked him whether corpus delicti or endangered party is an element of a crime,
Keep talking.
and he said yes. Then I asked him who is the injured party in this case, to which he responded, the people of the state of Illinois.
Huh?
And then my next question was, who is that?
And what was his response to that?
And I followed another question. Are you talking about the geographical location?
Or,
To which
yeah.
I did not. That was.
You didn't have a chance to say body politic?
No, I didn't get body politics out of my mouth. But his response to this was, "I'm not gonna play those word games with you."
But
So he refused to answer the question, basically.
But I'm saying when you were actually cross-examining the police officer and you were asking these questions, the judge intervened every time, right?
All right. So this was before I started questioning the police officer.
Hmm.
Once I started talking to the police officer, I only got the first question out of my mouth, and the question was whether I'm guaranteed responsive answers from the cop. And immediately the judge jumped in and said he's going to determine what is responsive and what is not.
Seems fair.
My next question was whether I was issued with a valid cause of action, which is also another element of the crime that has to be present for somebody to even call it a crime. And the state attorney, she intervened, objected, and said relevance.
Okay, so right there, relevance. What? How is she saying? It's basically saying she's asking, when she said that one word, she was trying to get a point of clarification. Why is that relevant to this case? Basically, she said she thinks it's irrelevant, and I don't understand how a valid cause of action in a case is irrelevant if they can't prove that it was valid, because they're not saying you violated any of the 4 elements of a valid cause of action. They're saying that because they said it was a valid cause of action, it was a valid cause of action. So, yeah, we actually got her name too. That would be Kathleen Konis. Kathleen Konis, State's Attorney Kathleen Konis. You're also going to have a complaint filed against you for malicious prosecution proceeding absent jurisdiction. The more you know. Little star flies over you. So yeah. So she said relevance. That was basically a slap in the face, because she knows that she is licensed by the state to practice law. The cop is employed by the state or the county or the city. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. All subsections of the state. And the judge represents the state. She understands that they are all on the same team, and he was the only one standing there without anyone on his side. So she did the little slap in the face comment, backhanded comment. Okay, so what happened after that?
To which I should have responded that this is a basic element of a crime that has to be present for you to charge me with a crime. I didn't say that. I moved on to the next question. Should have done it. I should have stood my ground to maybe a little more on
You
that
live
one.
and you learn, man. Don't worry about it.
Well, yes. But anyways, next question was, how many elements are there in a valid cause of action?
Hmm?
And the same objection from the state attorney. Relevance.
The relevance, by the way, if you don't understand this, if he doesn't know what a valid cause of action is, if he doesn't know anything about a cause of action, but he supposedly issued one, how can you issue something you don't even know what it is? That seems pretty relevant to me. Now, I was talking more about how when you were asking these questions, the judge was doing a little slap in the face, saying, that's irrelevant, you don't need to know that, blah blah blah, and then you even went under their procedure, and that's when the judge started being like, oh yeah, no wait, when you asked the cop if there was any evidence of a damaged party or an injured party or anything.
So the questions about the valid cause of action were irrelevant, or at least it was the opinion of the state attorney, and then the judge did not overrule those motions.
Did you say motion to dismiss while you're in there?
Yes, I at the end.
Well, our fun thing.
I said I would like for you to dismiss the case. So motion to dismiss.
Okay. Yeah, you should have definitely brought up the fact that the cop said that he didn't think there was any evidence of a damaged party.
So I moved on to again. I have here's a list of questions I have. I'm gonna read off the way I did to the cop. So the second question that I asked was, did you issue me with a valid cause of action? Was stricken down as irrelevant. How many elements are in the valid cause of action? Was also stricken down as irrelevant. I did not ask questions 4, which is, can you name and define all elements of a valid cause of action? Or 5, which elements did I violate, and how did I violate the said elements?
Yeah.
So I skipped all the way to question 9, which is, are you aware of any damage or injured party, corpus delicti, in the alleged case? And the cop said no, he doesn't know of any injured party.
So if they're
in the case,
if their only witness, if their competent witness says that there's no victim to anything, then how? I don't understand. Come on, buddy. Go lay down.
So they're confused about their own procedure, basically.
No, by their own procedure. No, they're following their own procedure to the code. They're not following law or providing any evidence of facts. They're trying. It's an act. Like I said, it's a game. They're trying to convince you that what they are doing is legitimate, completely ignoring the fact that law is a theory and not factual. So their procedures, codes, acts, and statutes, constitutions, all this other crap that they're throwing at you, telling you that's how they get their authority, the fact that you live on this plot of land, blah blah blah, grant some jurisdiction. I mean, it's the same BS that, I mean, look at the world right now. There's millions of people in jail for victimless crimes. This is that BS. So the judge actually helped him out a little bit when he said, under the Cannabis Control Act, they say that it is unlawful for anybody to knowingly possess whatever, and he threw in unknowingly in court, and the judge was helping him, and the cop said no. And okay, so and we gave him another backdoor too. We gave him a backdoor to walk out of the whole knowingly, unknowingly crap, because there's no evidence and proof that he knew what was happening. Okay, cool. So we gave them that backdoor, but the judge still did not dismiss the case. Even under their own rules, even under their stupid crap, they messed up. They can't prove anything, and they know it. So what they always suggest, and I've dealt with several court cases where they just told me this: you can always appeal it. That sounds like a waste of time. It's a waste of my life to have to go and appeal it because you just won't throw it out because you have no evidence of jurisdiction. You have no evidence of a damaged party. You have no evidence of anything. So, you see what I mean? It's just a game. They just want to keep their politics up, their public relations campaign, their fear-mongering. He told me when he was explaining what happened today in court, he said the first time they were being very in-your-face angry, but once they realized that, they bumped it up from possession to distribution, which is worse, okay?
Today it was the opposite. They actually bumped it down from distribution to plain possession.
Because why do you think they did that?
Well, we were talking about this earlier, but I'm thinking that now it's all about business. So
now they just want your money.
Yeah, now they're trying to seem like they're trying to play it nice.
Yep.
And just wonder, cut of the pie, and they want to keep doing business as usual.
You know what? Honestly, if they say no jail time and $10, we should just take that. Throw them $10.
$10.
$10. 10 double cheeseburgers.
But then we can't. Then we can't sue the.
Oh no,
the cop. If you
it's not guilty.
Oh.
Well, I guess you're right. We shouldn't do that. But
No cheeseburgers, bro.
No cheeseburgers.
No fries either.
But yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about earlier. You know, The first time he went in, they were trying to intimidate him. When they realized that he came back the second time on the same stuff, standing up for himself, asking simple questions, making them look like lunatics for screaming at him the first time, they were like, oh, we'll knock it down from distribution, we'll put it back to possession. That still doesn't help him. He didn't do anything to anybody, right? So they're trying to be a little bit, but okay, we'll knock it back down a little bit, we'll knock it down, you're okay. Yeah, once they have people stand their ground against them, the only power they could ever have is the consent of the people. When the people don't consent, they're screwed. They can't do anything. So, yeah, I definitely think that's why they told you.
Also, the judge was extremely happy and joyful to be rid of me and to move me when he moved my case forward. And now I'm sent to a different judge in the trial stage. And his words were that he's gonna have a good time. He's gonna have fun.
And that is Judge Kipperman.
Yep, Judge Kipperman of the Maybrook Courthouse.
Yep. So, and that's October 11th, so you'll probably be seeing another YouTube video around then, so be looking for it, because we will be talking about that on the day that happens yet again. You have anything else you'd like to add to this?
Fight the power.
Oh wait, watch out. Yeah, I figured you appreciate that, YouTube. Alright. Hey everybody, this has been Free Thought Josh. If you have any topics you'd like to discuss or any comments on this video, feel free to just post on the bottom of this video or send an email to freethoughtjosh@aol.com. Thank you for listening and have a good night.